In the brain.
You're slightly older than me.
Well, of course, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I knew so many grown-ups who watched all the like crazy cartoons,
Right.
like because one, they might have been smoking some pot, and then after work, and then
Right.
you watch the crazy cartoons, but
Yeah.
Right. I watched SpongeBob. Like, it was
yes,
fun.
Sponge,
Like,
that's
SpongeBob was
exactly what I
such-
was thinking.
Never
Yes.
seen that either.
Oh my God. There are so many episodes of SpongeBob that are so much
so
adult content. It's not even funny.
Well, like Bugs Bunny back in the day, right? That was an
Right,
evening
exactly.
cartoon.
Or
Right.
Bluey.
Oh.
I've got my Bluey t-shirt on.
I wasn't prepared for that. I'm like, what is she doing?
Let's strip down. Here we go.
What is happening?
Welcome to the show, Liza.
Okay, let me get ahead of you. Let me get with you.
I know we don't have a script or anything, but shit.
Yeah. No, too funny. No, I just wanted to show you my Bluey shirt. I knew I couldn't like have it like fully showing during the whole episode because you'd be distracted and you'd be like, why is mom wearing a crown? And da 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 da. So, you get distracted by my graphic tees. So,
I get distracted by everything.
People get distracted by mine too. Like, I went to a tea social dance a couple months ago, and I wore. I'm hoping that I can say this on there. Well, nothing is. We can say whatever. My T-shirt says "masturbate more" or "masturbate often," and then it says "have an orgasmic day." And everybody loves this T-shirt. Every time I wear it, I'm like everybody remembers me. Like,
yeah.
Oh, you're the one that wore the T-shirt, the masturbation T-shirt.
That's so funny. I love it. I love it. For that lady.
And so here we go.
Too
Here we
funny.
go.
So, welcome to Smiling Souls, everybody. I am Stephanie Keenan-Ray. This is Wendy Tadeucci, and we have Liza Lomax with us today. And so, should we pull some oracle cards, my friend?
Yeah. You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. So I pulled the Take Back Your Power. Ooh. It is Archangel Raziel. And it says, use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings into your life. You are a luminary, a sage, a wise one, a high priestess, a wizard, and a supreme manifester. Now is the time to summon up your spiritual strength and power and put your authority into action. Lovingly and firmly transform your intentions into reality. Say prayers about your intentions and ask for guidance and signs to shape your manifestations to the highest possible level. Working with Archangel Raziel, his name means secrets of God, and this archangel will help you understand Stoic spiritual ideas and apply them in practical ways. Call upon Raziel to assist your I know this one's not going to come out of my mouth right today. Alchemic work and turn ideas into gold.
Ooh.
And I also think it's funny that I'm wearing that lovely deep blue today. And
you match your card.
Nice.
You match your, oh my goodness. Okay.
That's my card.
So apparently I do too.
You're Metatron. Woo-hoo.
I pulled this morning before I got changed or anything. But yeah, so we match our cards. Yes. So I pulled Archangel Metatron, heaven to earth. Your current situation is in alignment with your mission on earth. And so this says Metatron, the throne next to God, is said to be one of the youngest of the archangels alongside his twin brother, Sandalphon. Who was it that said Metatron?
They were both human. Or they
were both human. I did not know that. Here's a word. Quabalistic. Quabalistic?
Yes.
We'll go with that. Texts support the idea that he once lived upon earth as Enoch, who was a prophet and the great-grandfather of Noah. As an angel, Metatron is guiding this age. This powerful archangel governs the sacred sciences, helps us understand the interconnectedness of all things, and is supporting us as we enter an age of awareness and growth. Oh, yeah. Talk about timely. This is that moment. And I get to pull Miss Liza with a Z, Lomax's card, and then I get to introduce her. So, Liza, I'm going to shuffle, and you just tell me when to stop.
Okay. Stop.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. You have pulled Azrael, Transcendence. Let's see. You wouldn't be who you are without what you have overcome. Own your story. I know, right? I love this card. I love this angel. Okay. Azrael's name means helped by God. He is the archangel who guides us through the process of transition. He's also the angel of death. Here's the thing. That's just one little part of his job, but really his bigger job is to help with the process of transition. His energy is like that of the phoenix, and he helps us rise from the ashes of our challenges to be reborn and renewed, right? Wait, what?
I have a phoenix tattoo. Yes. I go through a huge transformation like every 8-9 years. And I just went through another one recently, and I'm still kind of on the outside of it, but it's still kind of still manifesting. So this is perfect.
Oh, well, I've just got chills after that. Azrael can also help lead souls of the departed to heaven. And for that reason is known to have a powerful connection with anyone who has the gift of mediumship. He can be called upon by anyone who needs support in moving gracefully through times of change. Woo!
Oh, yeah. This is so much change going on. There's been so many things. Yes, that is me. To a T.
To a T.
Hey, everybody. Got a question for you. Have you ever felt like you don't deserve to put the oxygen mask on yourself first because you don't feel worthy to take care of yourself? I'm here to tell you from personal experience that as a result of that, you're probably experiencing burnout if you are not already, because that's for sure what happened to me. And so I have a solution for you, and it's really easy and it's fun and it's actually kind of beautiful. I created this journal for you. And so this journal is your self-care sanctuary, right? And inside, I've got some journaling prompts. Actually, I've got 30 days of journaling prompts. So you get in there and it's not like, I don't know what to write. You're directed, right, to write. And then I also give you some blank pages so that when you feel like getting something off your chest, out of your head, you can just get in there and be in the flow and do that. But one of the journaling prompts is about releasing guilt, right? Because who doesn't have some kind of guilt, right? I do from time to time. And so this is just a way to guide you through all of these prompts. And after 30 days, you're going to have peace of mind. So head to the website, which is coach-wendy.com/journal. Write your name, type your name, good grief, type your name, your email address, hit download now, and you get this immediately. You can start today. And so remember, this is for you. This is for your peace of mind. coach-wendy.com/journal. It is my pleasure to introduce Liza with a Z, Liza Lomax. Liza is the founder of Love Your Body Coaching. She's a holistic success coach, passionate about empowering extra achievers, perfectionists, and people pleasers. She helps womanpreneurs and solopreneurs, business and spiritual coaches prioritize themselves, overcome emotional eating, and embrace their true potential. With her intuitive healing and deep empathy, Liza guides them to cultivating a loving relationship with their bodies and achieve success in all areas of life. So welcome to Smiling Souls, Liza Lomax.
Hello. I am here.
We are so happy to have you here today. And boy, we are off to quite a start already, yes. As you may have noticed from the beginning. But Liza, I'm curious just to start off with, what can you share with our audience about all the things that we talk about? Self-care, having more joy, shifting mindset, midlife women, the universe, intuition. Like, where do you want to go? What do you want to share? Go for it. Hi, Mojo.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There's like so many things. Like, well, because so with the card thing, that is like I've gone through like it's kind of like every 8-9 years I go through this transformation. I go through this huge change, this huge shift. And this one that's coming up, this one is kind of extended for a while because I took so I'm not sure if the two of you know this, but me and my partner are no longer partners.
We did. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we did, we separated for a while and then we just decided our adventure was complete. And then, we decided to move on. And then I was traveling with myself for a while and just really honing in on and loving me more and realizing that, like every relationship I've had, I've never been in love. I've loved the people, but I've never had this experience of being in love. And so I worked on myself. I worked on all areas. I mean, like I walk the talk, like all the areas. I was just really deep diving on a much, much deeper level and going through some more healing and more transformation. And I went through this healing program and it just really released a lot of things. And having that realization that I had to be incandescently happy, unconditionally loving myself and be in love with myself in order for that to come back into my life, or in order for it to come into my life, really. And so I took a year and a half off and I just focused on myself and just like healed a lot of things and did all the stuff. And then and I basically just put it out to the universe that I'm like, I surrender. I'm going to trust and have faith that everything is going to work out. And the whole theme was just like surrender, surrender, surrender. And it's like, well, what surrender to what? Well, surrender to surrendering, just like give up all that control. And I just said, okay, you're in charge of everything. And you know what? Why don't you just be in charge of my love life as well? Because I'm like, I have no desire, because right now I had no desire to have a relationship. I wanted a relationship with myself, a deeper relationship with myself. And I wanted to focus on me and what I needed. And I wanted to date me and I wanted to take care of me, even more deeply than what I've done in the past and what I do and how I walk other people through this process. So it's just this huge upheaval and this huge just this huge awakening within myself and realizing my own desires and my own beliefs and my own wants and what do I really want. And in every relationship and whether it's platonic or intimate, it's like, oh, well, how can I show up for you? Like, how can I show up for you? Like, how can I support you? How can I love you? How can I take care of you? How can I do the things? And then leaving all my wants and desires behind, like, oh, well, I'll just mold myself into what you need from me. And especially in like intimate relationships, it was like who I lose myself. And so then I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna figure all this stuff out. I'm gonna just take the steps. The universe is gonna deliver and I'm just gonna take the actions. And so I've been traveling around, that I've been traveling around for a while. And I said, okay, where am I supposed to go to next? And, the universe is like, well, you're going to go back to the US. And I was like, okay, well, where am I going to go? You're going to go back to Minnesota. And I was like, okay, every single time I have come back, I've had this huge resistance about coming specifically back here. And this was the first time that I didn't feel resistance. Like I knew I was being called to come back here. I was being called to do something. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And so I've been back in the US for almost 6.5 months. And things have just like so many things have already transpired. And, the universe has just delivered, like I have this tribe of women. I've never had a tribe before. I've never had a group of people where I can just, they're doing the same things. They're share the same values, the same beliefs, the same everything. They're prioritizing themselves. They take care of themselves. They're just, really focusing on that. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I've never had this. And the universe just like dropped these 4 amazing women into my life. And I'm just like, oh my God, I love you, all of you. Like it just was just so, oh, it was just so wonderful to like have this tribe, these people. And then I was like, okay, like, do I open myself up for love? Am I ready to open myself up for love again? Am I ready to fall unconditionally in love with someone? Am I able to do that? And my whole life, I'm like, every relationship I've had, especially this last one, I wasn't able to picture myself growing old with them. It was always the same age. Sure. And I was like, okay, well, there's something to that. So it's like, okay, I've never been in love with somebody. I've never been able to picture myself growing old with somebody. So these are the 2 things that I'm manifesting. I'm like, this is the things that I want. I want to be able to grow old with somebody. I want to be able to be head over heels, madly, truly, madly, deeply, unconditionally, incandescently happy, head over heels in love with someone, because I've never experienced that before. And so now that I've experienced it with myself, now it's like, okay, now universe, let the pieces fall as they may. And another thing that's just been really powerful is learning the art of being present in the moment and just focusing on just today. Like, who do I get to support today? Who do I get to love today? Who do I get to show up for today? First and foremost, it's me I get to do all those things for. And then secondary, like, who in my space needs me today? Who in my space needs help, needs some guidance, needs some coaching, needs some healing, needs some teaching, needs some supporting, whatever it is. And so putting that out there, like every single day, that's all I focus on is just the day. Like, I don't even look at my calendar, until that day. I just say, okay, what do I have today? Oh, okay. This is how I get to show up today. And just really being present, really being mindful, really being just that conduit for the universe to deliver the medicine that needs to be delivered through me to others. And so that's the space I'm in right now. And it's just been, things have just been bloop, 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 bloop. Like the universe has just dropped all these things into my space. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so juicy and so magical. And I love it.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Yeah. So just the art of so many things, but the art of surrendering, the art of being present in the moment, the art of trusting and giving yourself grace and ease and patience and understanding. And that, yes, I might have challenges. We are, we're human, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. We're in these meat suits for a limited time. It's like, okay, like just let the pieces fall as they may. And the best place for us to be in our lives is be present, because the past is the past. The past, you cannot physically change anything that's past. You can change the energetics behind it. You can change your mental, how you feel about it, but you cannot physically change it. And then the future is constantly being decided based on the choices that we make in the present moment. It's constantly changing and shifting. So where's the best place to be? In the present and just focusing just today. And so that's been the biggest lesson that I've learned the last couple years, actually, on my own transformational journey. And there's just so many synchronicities and so many things that have come up that it's just, life is just amazing. And it may be, like you can look at it, like I was telling somebody yesterday, it's like, life is an adventure, and whether it's a good adventure or maybe not so, it's always an adventure. And we're in the biggest school. We're on the biggest school, which is Earth school, learning these learning these things, learning all the stuff that we need to learn to grow, to evolve, to change into the person that we're meant to be, or we were always meant to be. And so I feel like I'm like just like on the cusp of just like this huge greatness. And then with all the planetary stuff that's going on right now, and like I've got 6 placements in my chart, on my astrological chart, that are like affected by this blood moon and the lunar and the solar eclipse and the planetary alignments and everything. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I feel like this whole upheaval, I feel like this whole like turning completely upside down. I feel like I'm having this complete identity change and shift. Everything is changing and shifting in my space. And instead of like what we normally do as humans in these human bodies, is we run, we hide, we want to like, oh no, I don't want to deal with that, or oh, I want to just push it under the covers or push it under the rug. No, I'm like, I'm going to embrace this. I'm going to walk beside it. I'm going to walk with it. I'm going to just be like, grab the bull by the horns and say, okay, let's effing do this. Let's go, you know? So, it's just been very powerful.
And you've always played with magic in your world.
Yes.
I mean, you haven't always talked about it, but it's always been part of your life. Can you share a little bit about that and like, how you, utilize that, and like how you tap in, like, I don't know, maybe how you tap into it, like like advice to people of like, obviously just like listening to universe and that sort of stuff is great, but like you know a lot of things that not everyone gets and knows. So I don't know, can you share a little more about, like you were talking about your chart and the things that are coming up and how, so I don't know, share what you want to share.
Share what I'm going to share. Well, yes. So, I mean, I've been a magical being I've been a magical being in multiple lifetimes, and I've been a seer, I've been an oracle, I've been, all the things. And which brings up a good point about seeing. I'll have to share that story with you. Yes. But so I discovered I was a medium when I was 5 years old. And I've always been able to connect and see and experience energy. So anything that has energy, I've been able to communicate with. So whether it's people, whether it's animals, whether it's rocks, stones, crystals, whether it's the trees, the bees, all the things, like I've always been able to communicate on a level that majority of people don't get to experience. And I have all the clairs, so the clairvoyance, the clairaudience, the clairsentience, all of it, and have all these gifts. I've been able to do communicate with animals since I was 8, seeing angels when I was 10, like doing card readings when I didn't even know that I was doing them, and doing all these things. But a big chunk of my life was I was told that those gifts were bad and they were evil and I needed to shut them off. And so I spent a big chunk of my teenage years being a very depressed, very melancholy child with a lot of anxieties, and a lot of OCDs and a lot of issues. I had eating disorders growing up, very toxic environment I grew up in, not a very loving household. And it wasn't until I became an adult where I realized I needed to cut those people out of my life. I needed to cut those ties, those and even energetic ties. We don't realize, so like, we can cut people out of our lives, but we still have that energetic cord that attaches ourselves to them. Yes. So learning to detach that, and then, again, using the universe, higher power, higher source, however you want to view it, using that, tapping into that power and that magic and saying, okay, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? And so I called in like people without even realizing it. I mean, I've been calling in people since I was a kid. Like I've always, like, people just naturally gravitate to my energy. My energy is intoxicating for a lot of people, and people will get around me. I've had people come up to me and say, oh my God, your energy is like amazing. Can I just hang out with you? And I mean, it's just like, people just naturally fall in love with me. I'm like, it's It's like, okay. And it's been happening my entire life. Like people would come up to me and just tell me their whole life story, or just want to be in my presence. And it wasn't until I was an adult where I was like, oh, okay, this is a gift and I need to utilize this. So how do I use these gifts? And I knew they were gifts from universe, higher power, higher source. I knew that they were gifts and I had to utilize them. And I knew nobody was going to smash those out of my life. Like I have to do this. Like this is my mission. And so my mission in this world is to show love, to be love, to show others how to transform with love and in love. And that's a huge part of my mission, is just love, 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 love. And and of course at first it starts with us. So I incorporate all of my magical modalities into my coaching. I incorporate a lot of just on emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, all the things, all encompassing, and using all that, just that magic. And so I use, like, for instance, like, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a sigil.
I saw that earlier and I was like, I just saw something about that. And I was like, I almost did it on my own hand the other day. So I was like,
yes, for the full moon. So it brings magic and brings all the stuff up so I have that. And then I have my ruins on here too that symbolize, different things. So so there's lots of things that I incorporate in my own life, in my own daily life. And and I'm getting back into, I used to speak light language when I was little, and I didn't know what it was. And I've just had this interesting language that I was able to speak, and I didn't know what it was. And so I've been working on bringing back my light language back again too. So there's just, it's a lot of interweaving magic.
That is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's funny because I feel like it's so important that you do it, because it makes you lighter and like even more magnetic,
Yeah.
But it's funny, as you were telling that story and as you're talking about people just being attracted to wanting to be around you, and it reminds me of, like, the first time I met you in person was at Celebration, and we were literally like standing in line for food, and you were like chit-chatting with somebody, and I was sort of being the awkward introvert eavesdropping, and was like, he's really funny. And I like just started talking to you too. And I was like, and like afterwards I was like, oh, she must think I'm a big weirdo.
No, I love it. Like, I loved it.
Yeah. And it's like one of those things though that, it's like we just, from like a silly conversation, little things blossom slowly, and now we're friends, and done things together and collaborated on things, and it's awesome. But it was one of those, like, I wouldn't normally I have broken out of that shell, but I used to, it was my first celebration, and being amongst that many people and all of that, I felt like a fish out of water. And I have a very good tendency to be like, I'll just be the fly on the wall and observe, and I'm over that now. But at the time, it was a big one. Like, energetically, I think you were like, you can talk to me.
Yes. Yeah. I love it.
Magical is a great phrase, word, term to say everything that's in your life and has come to your life, and all is a direct result, if I'm hearing you correctly, from surrender.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I have a question on that. And also, I just read about this. Barbara Stanny has a book called Sacred Success. And in it, she talks about she surrendered for a year. She didn't know how long it was going to take. She just knew she had to surrender. And for her, that meant no work, she was just noticing. She was present. She was listening to the universe. She was listening to God. She was listening to her angel. She was really being present to hear and to understand and to be guided to that next thing.
Yeah.
And so my question around all that is, I know we've got listeners that are like, well, gee, that'd be great if I could surrender. But I've got kids. I've got my mom. I've got blah, 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 blah. So question is, I know the answer to this, but I want to hear it from you, Liza. How do you answer that for people that are in that position that desperately want to surrender and can't?
They choose not to. It's a choice. It's not that they can't. So I'm going to say this in a loving, supportive way, but that's a bullshit excuse.
Yep.
Hello, I'm a Sagittarius. I'm going to tell it like it is. Like, come on. Yep. It is. And it's a choice. And everyone has the ability to allow themselves permission to feel the feels, permission to do the things.
Yeah. And you don't have to do the go off to the cabin in the woods and
no.
Yeah.
No.
You don't have to do that.
You can still surrender.
Exactly. Yes. So you can give yourself 5 minutes. Like everybody has 5 minutes. I mean, we doom scroll sometimes longer than that. That's for 2 hours. Like really? Like you can go and give yourself 5 minutes, give yourself some me time. Like I tell my clients, I said, you need to come up with a me time schedule. Like this is priority number 1. And as women, we have been conditioned to be unpaid caregivers for the rest of our lives.
That's it.
No, we are not. That is an old paradigm way of thinking. That's an old belief system that no longer works in this time right now, space and time. Maybe our grandparents, great grandparents, all that kind of stuff. No, not anymore. It's like we need to prioritize ourselves because we know that if we don't take care of ourselves, nothing else gets done.
Right. Exactly.
No one else gets taken care of. And so prioritizing yourself, making yourself number 1, like you're first and foremost, you are the most important relationship in your life. Always will be. So take care of yourself first because that in turn takes care of everyone else around you.
Yeah. And I also know there are going to be some of you out there going, I don't deserve to take care of myself first. I'm not worthy. And until you know in your heart and in your soul and in every fiber of your being that you are worthy and deserving, guess what? You're not going to surrender, even if it's 5 minutes. You're not going to take care of yourself. So, Liza, what would you say to someone that is either saying to themselves out loud, I don't deserve, or they're saying it to themselves in their voice, like in their head? What would you say to that person? Well,
most people probably will hear this or will see this, will know that I do a talk called Making the Mirror Your Friend. That's probably one of my favorite talks. And that person needs to go and take a really hard look at their reflection in the mirror and look at themselves. And if they're in that state of, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, they've got that old story floating around in their heads. Who's the voice behind that? Who's talking in your ear? Who's really saying those things? Most of the time, it's parents or grandparents or somebody in our society, somebody in our environment that told us these stories, or they told themselves these stories and we took that in. So again, it's an old paradigm way of thinking. It's an old belief system, an old habit old story that we keep playing it over and over in our heads.
That's it.
Because there's enough for everyone to go around. We should be thriving, not just surviving. There's enough in everywhere for us to thrive. So go into the mirror every single morning. You don't even have to love yourself. I tell people, I'm like, you don't even have to love yourself. You just have to appreciate what you see in the mirror. And if you can find one thing that you just appreciate, whether it's your eyebrows, your hairline, your lips, your nose, whatever it is, just appreciate just that. Because what eventually happens is appreciation turns to like, and the like turns to love. Yes.
It's like building a muscle, right?
Exactly. Exactly. It takes time to build muscles. It's going to take time to build this, and it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
It's a process. Because think of how long you've been on this earth. So many years, 50 something years, whatever. It's like you've been telling yourself these stories over and over and over again. So it's going to take time to reframe and retrain your brain to thinking something else.
Bingo.
Yes.
Bingo.
Yep.
I've got to share this really quickly. So I have a client that she was telling herself every morning, I'm just going to make it through the day. I just got to get through the day. And I was like, okay. And I said, what if you asked yourself a different question? What if you asked yourself, what's one thing I'm looking forward to today? And she went, oh, I've never done that. And she started to. And at first she thought of one thing, like, well, okay, I'm looking forward to putting my slippers on when I get out of bed. Great. One thing. And now she came up with a freaking list last time when I asked her. And it's like it took time, but she's building up that muscle. Kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, and another thing too is it's reframing the words, like I get to instead. Or I have to, or I need to, I want to. No, those are want and need are words of desperation. And so the universe is going to hear that, and it's going to think the opposite, that you're in desperation, you're in survival mode, and it'll keep delivering all those things just to keep you in survival mode. So if you start changing the verbiage of like, I get to, I am, I embody, all those things. It's like, then your brain is like, oh, and then the universe is like, oh yeah, then I'm going to bring you more of that. Because the universe is working with you. It's conspiring with you. It's not working against you. It's working with you, beside you, in front of you, behind you, like all around you. You just have to allow yourself permission to receive that.
Ooh, to receive.
Yes.
That's it. Yes. And sometimes that's the hardest thing for someone to do. It's just like they haven't even, like for me, years ago, someone said to me, Wendy, I made a statement and he's like, so are you receiving that? And I went, I had no clue. Not a freaking clue what the hell he was talking about. And then it hit me and I'm like, okay. I'm not receiving. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Right. It's those
because we're told
hints, those little downloads, the people that the universe puts in your path to go, oh, right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to the conditioning. Like we've been conditioned to give. What's this receiving thing? Oh, no, I can't take that. Oh, no. I can't take that compliment. Or no, I can't take. No, I'm an inconvenience. Or, oh, no, I can't. I don't deserve that. Or, no, I'm not good enough. It's all those bullshit stories that we tell ourselves. It's like, no, we do. Like we do. We get to. We allow. We embody all those things. We embrace. We receive. Yes.
I love that. That's a write downable. I can tell Stephanie is writing it down.
Yeah.
Because it's huge. And so I'm interested, Liza, in your spiritual side. Because I'm just getting I'd say both feet in the water now at this point with my spiritual side. But you've had, you were able to communicate with angels at 5. Wow. And can you talk a little bit about how when you call in your angels, who are always just sitting on the edge of their seat, just waiting for you to call. When you call in your angels, at least for me, I would think it'd be the same experience for others. When you call in your angels, how much easier life becomes.
Yes. That's what they're there for. Your guides, your angels are there for you. Your guides, hello, they're here to guide you. They're here to deliver the information that you need, your higher self, working with your higher self. Your higher self is there. There's so many tools that we don't utilize that can benefit us greatly in the lifetime that we're in right now, in every lifetime. But it's like we just need to, they're just sitting there, like, just, okay, I'm just waiting, I'm waiting for permission. And once you allow that permission and say, hey, because there's some times where I'm like, I'm in a situation, I'm like, okay, hello, guides, this is what you're here for. Help me. Hello, you're here. Right. Like, I'll like call them out and be like, come on, work with me here. Like, this is your job.
Right.
Like I set that contract before I even came here. This is who I want as my guides. These are who I want as my angels. This is who I want to surround myself with. All these things. We set the tone for how our life is going to be. So they're there to support us, to guide us, to show us the way, to help us and things. So ask them. Say hello, wake up, ting, 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 ting. Who's there? Anybody?
Yeah.
Yes. And it's that easy.
It is. It's super easy.
Yeah.
And you don't have to know who they are. You don't have to know, like some of us, we know, we know their names. We know who they are. We've seen them. We've felt them, but you don't have to. You just have to know that every single person has guides, has a team, has a team. An etherical team. Yes. And yes, out in the cosmos. We all have a team. Yes.
I love that you found a way to tap back into like your light language, the things that, like most kids, once they grow up and they stop doing these things, because society has told them it's wrong. It's lost, it's forgotten, and like tapping back into it can be very, very difficult. I love that you are tapping back into it, that you're finding that path. That's so cool. Must be a journey though, I'm sure.
Of course, like I've said this so many times lately that I feel like I'm like 350 years old. Like I've literally lived like multiple lifetimes in one life. Like, because I tell stories and people that I've had somebody ask me the other day, they're like, I hear you tell these stories. And for just a moment of it, I think, is that really a real story? Or is that just a story? And they like, I believe you that's part of your story, but the way that you present it and the way that you deliver it, it's like, I'm so intrigued and I just want to hear I just want to hear the story, but I can't almost can't fathom that it's actually your story. And I'm like, yes, because I've healed so much of the trauma and the emotional and the toxic and all the things that I can just tell a story and I have no emotional attachment to it because I've healed that part of myself. And so that's why it sounds like stories. And so I love telling stories. I'm a huge storyteller. And so just being the deliverer of those things, and and whoever it's supposed to touch, and whoever resonates with it is going to resonate with it. And so tapping back into the light language, tapping into a bunch of different things I've been doing, tapping back into it, and getting more, just really just again, learning and growing and evolving myself, because we need to do that, and getting more out of my comfort zone and getting, being comfortable with the uncomfortable and surrendering and allowing and all the things. Like, so going back to the I thing, I'm not sure. Do we have time to talk about this? Because this is really a fun story.
Okay. Yes, please.
Yes. So my body will physically cause something in me in order for me to wake up and smell the roses, per se, to like pay attention to something. And so I've had in the past, and every time I've ended up in the emergency room.
Oh dear.
So in the past, I ended up in the emergency room with a back issue They could not explain why. There was no rhyme or reason why I had these back problems. And it was because I wasn't grounded. I wasn't grounding myself. And so it was affecting my root chakra was completely out of balance. So I started learning grounding techniques and learning how to just be present and grounded and do all the things, go and hug into trees and all the things that could possibly keep me, like visualizing the roots growing out of my feet into the earth and into the soil and into the core magma and all this stuff. So doing those on a regular basis. And then about 10 years ago, I had this throat thing and I ended up in the emergency room with a throat thing. And it was because I wasn't speaking my truth. And I was in I was in some really dysfunctional things in my life. And so I had this throat thing. And so like I had to go to the emergency room and they sucked out all this poison and all this stuff. It was just awful. And so I remember the next day I went into the doctor and the doctor's like, well, if this flares up again, and I said, no, it won't flare up again. And he's like, well, if it flares up again, you'll have to get your tonsils out. And I said, no, this is a one-time thing. This will never happen again. And you'll never, ever see me again. And he has never seen me again. So recently.
Oh, no. Another ER visit?
Yes, last week. So last week I woke up, it was either Monday or Tuesday. I woke up and my eye was bloodshot. It hurt. I was in a lot of pain. I was so light sensitive, like all the things. It was weepy, but it wasn't like I had no cold. I had no fever. I had no rhyme or reason why this eye thing was coming up. And so I tried to take care of myself. I did all the homeopathic things, but it wasn't getting any worse, but not any better. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the Minute Clinic. And I go to the Minute Clinic and the doctor has no clue. It's like completely perplexed. And she's like, it could be conjunctivitis. It could be this. By the way, I've learned like there's multiple strains of conjunctivitis, not just this pink eye. Because I wasn't having it in the other eye and people in my space were not getting it as well because it's a highly allergic thing. So it was just contained to this one eye. And I'm like, this is so bizarre. And so then she had to call another doctor and the doctor's like, well, it's your eye and you really should see an ophthalmologist, but it's like Friday afternoon. They're probably closed. You just go to the ER. And so I went to the ER. I spent 7 hours in the ER.
Oh, Liza.
Yes, I was just like, oh my God, waiting and waiting. So I had like, oh my gosh, the picture of me, I was like, I had my glasses on, my mask, of course, I had my hoodie over, like I could not, like light was just
so
like
bright in an ER.
Yes, everything was so bright. And so we waited and waited. And so then I finally saw the emergency doctor and she said it's conjunctivitis. Now in the back of my head, I'm like, just don't think so. But you know what? You're the expert. So whatever, I know my own body, but we'll just go with it.
Yeah.
And she's like, she super dilated my eye, gave me some drops. She's like, but I made an appointment for the ophthalmologist tomorrow morning. It's a Saturday. So I made a special appointment for you to go see the doctor. Just to confirm, because I see a little cloudiness, I see a little haziness. I just want to make sure. So I went to the ophthalmologist the next day and he took one look at it and he says, it's not conjunctivitis.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what is it? He's like, I don't know. It's a fluke. It's an anomaly. And I'm like, seriously? At the same time, I'm getting this messages like, hello, I told you so. Like, it's like,
yeah,
it's
right.
Like, you're not listening.
Your body so well.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay. I said, I kind of figured that. And he's like, I won't see you ever again. He's like, it's good to meet you. But, here's some drops. Take these drops. He's like, this will clear up in like a week or so. It'll be fine. And I'm like, okay. Wow. And so I went home. I came back and I did, I've been doing a lot of meditating, even more so with all the astrology stuff that's going on. Just more meditating, just really being mindful, taking care of my body, doing all the things. And the words keep coming up about focusing and seeing and clarity and paying attention to. I've been really hyper focused about everything in my space and really listening and really tapping into that. And so my eye has been essentially blinded right now. And so, like I'm working on, okay, well, what am I not seeing? What am I not paying attention to? What's going on in my space? Right. And so that's kind of the theme for the last couple weeks is like, okay, so I have more clarity to do. I have more, receiving and allowing and just letting it, what am I not seeing? And it's a connected to my third eye. So again, it's like, okay, what do I need to do? Like, you just give me the steps and I'll take the action. So that's my story for my seeing thing.
That's so crazy. I love it.
It is.
Being taught those lessons and knowing again, like, to surrender. Listen.
Yeah, I mean, and again, my human brain would be like, "Oh my God, like, why, how, la 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 la," and I'm like, I don't need to ask the how. I don't need to ask the why. I don't even need to know the answer right now as to why I'm having this thing happen. I just need to allow it to happen and let the pieces fall as they may. Yes. Wow. Yeah, and surrender. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to live. And so much easier than trying to control everything.
Exactly. Because we try to control everything. And it's like, what's the point? We create so much more dis-ease in our body, and it's a complete disservice to us to do that.
Oh my gosh. Ladies, I got a t-shirt that says, nothing is under control. No, it says, relax, nothing is under control. And I wear that and people are like, ooh. I'm like, do you have control over anything? Literally.
Yeah.
You really don't.
Nope.
Sorry. And when they have a reaction like that, that means that they need to work on themselves.
Right. Exactly.
I'm just the big sign that's walking around and them becoming aware of it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yes. You're welcome. Yes. I do that a lot too. I'm like, this is my TED Talk. Welcome to my TED Talk. You're welcome.
Have you ever done a TED Talk, by the way?
I have not, and I thought I heard somewhere that they were changing like their formats, and so it wasn't more. Yeah, they're kind of changing the way that the structure and things are like they're going with that. So I don't think, unless the opportunity presents itself,
I can so see you.
I don't think. Oh, I can totally see myself that too. I mean, yeah. So, but things.
I see you more as a moth. The moth.
As a what?
The moth on PBS. Like people tell stories. Yeah. But it's just called The Moth. It's so good.
Oh. Okay.
Storytelling.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah. I'd love to have the opportunity to be a storyteller on something, I mean, and that's what I kind of tell them, when I'm on podcasts or I'm on, in seminars, webinars, or I'm asking, asked to be in summits and things like that. It's like, I'm a storyteller and I like to tell stories.
Yeah.
And it's fun. And I've got a lot of stories. So
yeah, you do. And we are just so appreciative that you have shared those with us today and with our audience. And all of the contact information, all the ways and all the places that Liza is, Steph's going to put in the show notes, as she does so well. So you'll be able to reach out to Liza and find her in all the spaces in the social metaverse, universe, whatever it is.
I'm everywhere.
She's everywhere. And just thank you so much, Liza, for joining us.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your magic and yeah, everything. So good to see you. And see you next time.
See you next time.
All right.